Happy Halloween, viewers. This is Speedbar Horror today, and for you guys, I have for you from Transformers and YOLOPARK. I have for you the return of the Fallen Prime himself. I have Nemesis Prime's AMK Pro Series model kit for you guys today, and yes, this is a new recent release of the recolored AMK Pro Optimus, and of course his classic Nemesis color scheme, which is really cool, guys. I like it. It's, of course, I know I say that a lot, but I do. It's got that Nemesis presence. It's got that evil Optimus we love to see, yet we don't see enough of. It is such a cool version, and of course, yes, this has die cast in it, so it's got a lot. It does have some weight to this, guys. But quick mention, in case you didn't know this, no, unfortunately, you cannot transform Nemesis here, but none of the AMK series units can do that for reasons. Let's just go with that. But yes, but even so, I don't really mind that fact because this looks so cool. It's got the whole complete G1 package look. It's the classic, but yet it is just so cool to see. Plus, it's another one of AMK Pro's really cool designs and detailing, because for those who don't know this, a lot of the Pro Series kits we get, not only do they have the classic accurate designs, they also add on to the bodies a lot of what looks like chipped paint and such, like you see here, but actually that's intentional. That was designed that way to give it the whole battle scar kind of vibe, which is really cool, which is definitely something we don't get with a lot of regular Hasbro toy versions, so that's something. Let's see. The other cool fact about this version specifically is that, for those who weren't aware of this, actually, Nemesis here actually was earlier this year, as the box art here actually states, was a exclusive release this year. It wasn't originally meant to be retail. Yeah, this was at an event this year, which unfortunately for a lot of fans like myself, unfortunately, couldn't attend and obtain, which really stinks, because usually whenever we get an exclusive like a Nemesis here that is an event only, sadly the only way to get it is through third parties and all that stuff, and half the time, and I can confirm this because I did look, will jack the price. And I can tell you that because I looked for this guy after the event, and unfortunately there were people who were trying to sell it, no joke, for about $150. And that's the sad part, because that was everywhere. There was no reasonable prices, which of course understandable for scalpers. Well, yeah, it was a big bummer. I wanted to pick one up so bad, but we were in luck. YOLOPARK decided not too long ago that they would reissue the Nemesis under their retail shop, meaning, of course, anyone who couldn't, of course, get it at the event could now order it with no problems at their online retail, which I am very glad to have gotten there instead of through third parties and all that other stuff, because I would have been paying buttload more. So it's definitely saved me money for sure. I'm glad for that. And it's awesome to have another Nemesis to play around with and such. It's so cool. And now, so I don't chat around too much, let's get into some of his articulation. So you can see a full 360 with no problem, even with the metal and such in it. You can go full 360 here with no problem. Arm bend could go about that far and such. His elbow, before bumping into his muffler, of course, can go about all the way this far with no problem and such, which is really cool. And the hand, if you're wondering, is actually articulated. The thumb is separate, the index finger is separate, as you can see, and these three fingers are, of course, connected, but are also separate, so you can pull off some classic fun poses with. Though I must mention this because I noticed this with my copy. Maybe it is only just my copy's deal, but I noticed when assembling and, of course, playing around with that the fingers on my Nemesis here were very tight. Literally, the pins in the fingers were just so tight in the plastic and such on it. It took me a while to get it to pose, literally. So if you do get them, be careful with the hands, because if you do put too much pressure on, you could break it. So yeah. And unfortunately, he doesn't come with like swappable hands, so if you break this hand, well, that's it. But luckily, you can, of course, after just slowly bending it and such, you can get it to move with no problem. And if yours happens to come with like excess like plastic flash on the joints and such, which mine did actually, a simple like sanding tool can shave it down a little bit to help it out. And if you happen to have like a hobby knife, it won't hurt to double check the joints like in here and such, like around here, which I had to do because unfortunately mine it was filled with excess plastic, which was actually jamming the actual joint function. So it took me a while to, cut out the excess plastic and such. But like I said, maybe that was just my copy deal, guys. But, I just wanted to make sure to let you know in case. Now let's go back into this for articulation. As you can, of course, see, he can do a jig as much as he wants. Complete full 360 with the waist with no problems, no limitations. Head, ball joints, so rotate all the way around as much as you want. back and forth. And yes, just like other Pro units, he does have an LED function in the head. All you need is the coin battery in it, and of course the gun here operates it by just making contact with the head, and it'll turn it on, of course, with no big issue there and such. Now, of course, for leg articulation, it's pretty easy. He can go that far, no problem. As you can see, back that far, you can bend his leg all the way back till he kicks himself. This swivel can go all the way around with no problem whatsoever. And as you can see, there's an extra joint here. So if you wanted to extend his leg out for other poses, you can. There's no tightness, no worries. I mean, it stays right in place. And with the knee bend, like I showed you, it looks really good, even for plastic. His foot does have articulation for the toes, so you can stub his toe if you want. He does have a joint in the ankle, but I don't know, it just seems a little challenging to move it with all the armor right here, so there's that. But you can still move it with no problem, so you can do some poses there as well. And lastly, of course, if you're wondering, yes, you can, of course, open up the doors here for the Matrix, though I would recommend using a part separator like this, because it's much easier. You won't hurt your fingers. And there you go, my friends. There is well, I guess we can't really call it the Matrix of leadership, right? Because it's all red and evil. So Matrix of chaos, Matrix of darkness. There's a ton of evil ones, so yeah. Just depends on the circumstance. And it just closes up with no problem once it lines up, and there you go. And if you're, of course, wondering, does anything fall off? Nope. As you can see, I can shake him all I want. He'll be fine. And as you can see, his ab crunch is really cool. He can look right down at you, right before he stomps on you. So there's that. And as for fun accessories, as you can already see, he comes with his classic ion cannon, which is really cool and buffed up, so to speak, which looks classic but awesome. And he will also come with his own stand, so you can pull off some cool poses when you bend it around and all that. And it does have some articulation like this. You can adjust it too for height, turn it all the way around just for fun. And if you happen to already have a couple units with their stand, you can of course connect them together. So there's that. And other than that, he will come with a red version of his classic Energon axe, which is really cool. Though I wish it was a little longer, but yeah, no big. It just simply attaches to the hand by just ripping off his hand, like such, and now he's gonna get you. Murder, murder. Well, yes, that's that works with no problems. Full articulation there. Go. And lastly, for major accessories, he comes with Megatron. Yeah, he comes with his own Megatron, which is, of course, obviously why, because he's an Optimus recolor, but it's just funny because we have Megatron that you can, of course, use with him, and all you would do, of course, is just take any of the hands, pose the fingers enough to where you can line it up, though it is tricky if you don't pose them, beforehand. But all you can do is that, and yes, you can hold the hand, as you can see, to hold it with no problem. And all you do is just reattach it to the body like normal. And there you go. Now, the only thing I will say is, in comparison with the from Optimus to Megatron's Pro kits, I do say Optimus, I felt like got a little bit of the short deal in this case, since it's also Optimus, Nemesis here, is that Megatron did get a number more accessories than Optimus did. So it is a little bit of a bummer, because it would have been cool to have seen a couple more accessories for Nemesis here, which would have been from Optimus. But, it's no big. I mean, I'm okay with it, though. I'm cool with it. Because, of course, if you happen to have any other Pro units, you can now display a couple with, just like our buddy Megatron here. Which is really some to see these two together, I have to admit, because it's like, this is something we should have seen like in the cartoon or like in any other show where these two actually team up. But the only time we've ever really seen that outside of comics is the was the Netflix series at the end with Galvatron. So yeah, but I mean, that's, like I said, it's a bit of a bummer we don't get more Nemesis related content outside of toys and stuff, because there's so much possibilities for him. I mean, we have a number, of course, through some of the shows, but a part of me is just always died to want to see more Nemesis, like an actual setup to where Unicron truly revived Optimus into Nemesis, and so forth like that. It would be so cool to see more content like that, so we can see more of Nemesis outside of just basic Optimus recolors. But that's just my own thoughts, guys. Don't worry about that. But okay. But yeah, other than that, let's take a quick look at some size comparisons. As you just saw with Megatron, they line up pretty well with each other, but I'll show it again real quick so you can see better. So for height, yes, Optimus and Megatron's bodies are about the same, so of course Nemesis would be the same. And because of recent reviews I just did, I figured instead of an Optimus, I went with Orion. So you could see, his past self to his future self, so to speak, if it came down that way. But yes, the TF1 Orion cogged version does line up really well with Nemesis here. Man, it is so crazy that we should get something like this for a movie related where we see Optimus become Nemesis and all that. I have so many crazy ideas I'd love to see. But yes, I do like the height of these. These match up really well. And this is just a standard AMK, just so you know. And lastly, just because I have my mini Optimus, so you can see it. Yes, the mini series is a much difference in height comparison to the Pro series. So yes, now unfortunately, friends, I still have not had a chance to get the standard Optimus Pro unit yet, but I am hoping to get it soon, because if not, I do know that YOLOPARK is releasing an upcoming combo set of their Pro series Megatron and Optimus. The only difference will be is that set is not going to be made with a die cast. It's going to be straight plastic. So I may do that. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, so my final thoughts, my friends, is this: if you are looking for a new Nemesis for your Optimus collections and such, and you just want one that is very G1 accurate in a sense, yes, I simply put would recommend this guy right here, because it is, if you've already bought the Optimus version, like I said, it's a complete recolor, so no difference there. Parts are the same, weapons are the same, and price-wise, it's the same either way, so there you go. Simple and easy, my friends. And it's just always cool to have a couple more Nemesis to go with your Decepticon collection as well. Can't hurt. So yes, that is it for today, my friends. I thank you always for coming. I hope you're all enjoying your hobbies, and I hope you all have a good Halloween to enjoy some candies, and hopefully an actual Nemesis won't come after you in the night. All right. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you later.